your heart is my pinata. My wordplay.
Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we're going to be doing a scent safari that is from the house of Dua Fragrances. You guys know how scent safari works. This is a house that is not without controversy, and for the record, I wanted to check this house out far before the controversy existed. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about my experience with this house. I feel like my ear is really to the ground with fragrances. I pay attention to our YouTube reviewers that we love and respect so much, that I love and respect so much. But more importantly, I pay attention to the blogs and the Facebook groups, because I feel like you can get a better sense of what's going on there. There's only so many reviewers. There's a lot of Facebook groups and blogs. And I saw a while ago that on the low, this house was blowing up. And really around a fragrance called the Mobster. Now, for the record, to set things straight, I've been interested, going back years, in collaborating with a brand and a fragrance sort of based on the mafia or mafia life. And my idea, I think, is super different than what Dua did. And hopefully you'll get to smell my idea one day. But so because of that, when I saw the Mobster, I was like, oh, okay. I want to see their sort of interpretation on this. I have friends that are, I'm 3/4 Italian, grew up in New York, went to Hofstra University in Long Island. Been around Brooklyn, Staten Island a long time. I know people. Just end it like that. Not to say anything crazy, but I wanted to see a brand's take on what they felt like a Mobster smelled like. So at the end of May, I hit up Maxim Rosa on Facebook, who's the perfumer and CEO of Dua, and I asked him for a sample. Now, just so you guys know, I always ask brands for samples. I never ask for bottles. I want samples because that way I can get variety, and if I don't like them, I can eat them, right? I can say, you know what, you guys send me samples. I didn't really like any of these. I'm more than willing to pay you for what the samples cost. Boom. It's happened. And usually if you send me a bunch of samples, I can find a few fragrances I like, and sort of talk about them. But I've never gone to a house and said, send me a bottle or send me bottles. I feel bad doing that. And I don't think, for me, it's just not what I want to do. If a house decides me to send me a bottle, cool, it's happened, obviously. But to make a long story short, Maxim was like, I got you. I'm going to send you a bottle of the Mobster. We don't do samples. And I was like, all right, cool. So weeks went by. I didn't hear anything. I got lots of inquiries as to why no Dua video on my channel. Other reviewers had these fragrances, yada, yada, yada. I hit them back up, nothing. So finally, I was like, look, no hard feelings. I'm going to do a video, just so you guys know, explaining why there is no video. And then I reached out and it just didn't work out. And he was like, the dude was like, no, our bad. I want to make it up to you. I'll send you a night with the Mobster. Mobster's sold out, but I'll send you a night with the Mobster. Cool? And I'm a fucking prideful person. Guys, in my life, it's hurt me more than it's helped me, because I've done some very dumb shit because of pride. So I told him, actually, I was like, no thanks. I don't want anything from you guys. I'm good. You know, do your thing, I'll do my thing. And because I believe the people behind Dua, or at least stand-up people, Maxim was like, well, look, I'm going to send you some fragrances regardless, and you don't have to do a video. I just want to make things right with you. And for me, just so you guys know, that sort of attitude goes a long way with me. And I decided I would do a video regardless. So I'm excited to do this video. Everyone's hyping Dua. You know, reviewers that I trust. And then the day before I got my package in the mail, Dell, who's Bottom Note on YouTube, for those of you who don't know, did a video that was pretty not great on Dua, and I'm like, damn, what am I getting myself into here? Like, oh god, I hope these fragrances aren't gonna disappoint. So just so you guys know, no one can ever compel me to say anything on my channel. If I like someone, might I be a little bit more favorable about their scents? And if I don't like someone, might I be a little bit more harsh on their product? Probably. I feel like that's just human nature, and I think I'm honest enough to admit that. But you'll never catch me saying something that is trash is crack, or something that is crack is trash. I just don't move like that. Also, I very rarely will tell my subscribers to buy something or not buy something, because ultimately it's your bread. When I put my name on something, that changes because I feel very strongly about products that I am associated with. And on a rare occasion, I might feel strongly about a product and might implore you to purchase it or not. But for the most part, all I'm doing here is telling you my opinion on products. So let's talk about products. So real quick on Duo Fragrances. This is an indie niche fragrance house located in the United States by way of Dubai. These are supposedly parfum extract scents that are the talk is that they're all beast mode. Some are replicas of popular scents, some are complete originals. All are composed and created by Mashem Raza, who was trained in Dubai. Prices are $45 for 30 ml for their regular releases, or $55 for 30 ml of their limited editions. Now, this is the presentation, right? You have the fragrance, you have the notes on the back. The bottles aren't anything super special, but I do want to say the presentation doesn't bother me at all. I feel like indie houses, many of them have started off with bottles like this. Laird Desert Americaine, which to me is one of the best fragrances in the world. It's my top 10 of all time easily. At first came in a bottle not too different from this one. You know, when houses are starting up, that's what they do. I'm sure Duo will step their game up and do better bottles and boxes someday. If I paid money for these, would these bother me? I don't think so. You know, I paid for Tobacco 1812 by West Third Brand, and I'll talk more about West Third Brand later. And the presentation was very similar to these, and I was very happy with that product. So this is not a big deal for me. And you guys know how much I do value presentation, but for me, newer indie brands get a pass for me. Also, in regards to buying replica scents, I want to say a quick word. Be smart when you buy replica scents. I would never purchase a replica of a scent like a Zara Chrome, or even probably a L'Oreal Sport or a L'Oreal Extreme by Chanel. These aren't that expensive. A Zara Chrome is like $20 for 100 ml at TJ Maxx or any discounter. Why would anyone buy a replica? A Chanel Allure or L'Oreal Sport, L'Oreal Sport Extreme is $100 for 100 ml. Why buy a more expensive replica? You want to get replicas of Amouage or Creed or Tom Ford Private Blends or Raja or Dior Privé. Okay, I can understand buying a replica of that, but just think through when you want a replica scent. If it makes financial sense, just pick the original up instead if it doesn't. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is this guy. This one's called Rosa Neck Tar, and the notes on this one are rose, patchouli, cinnamon, raspberry, musk, sandalwood, ambergris, incense. This one's $55 for 30 ml. I believe it's an original. Guys, I am not the biggest rose fan in the world. I'll admit that. If you watch my videos, I don't really like that many rose fragrances. Rouge Avignon is one of the few exceptions, which a lot of people say is a replica of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir. But I do like this one a lot. I would say my beef with it is I don't get a lot of the notes listed here. I get rose, cinnamon, and raspberry. And then maybe in the dry down, a little bit of ambergris and a slight touch of incense. But a lot of these notes are lost to me. But I do feel like this is a beastly fragrance. It lasts for a long time on my skin. I think the rose note at the top is really, really good. It's not a synthetic rose. It's very natural to me. So I'm not a rose guy. I just want to let you know that. So I wanted to get Rosa Neck Tar out of the way quick, but I would love to know what other rose people think of it. And I think for a rose fragrance, it's a good fragrance. So the next one I want to talk to you about is Mobster. And the notes on Mobster are oud, tobacco, sandalwood, patchouli, spicy notes, and whiskey. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think this is a pretty good fragrance. I get a couple of the notes listed. I get a lot of sandalwood here. A lot. When Sai said what he prominently got was sandalwood, I agree with that a lot. I get just a real lot of sandalwood. I get a little bit of oud, not a lot. This is not a nude fragrance. I get some booziness. That's what this one is to me. Super sweet. I'd say this one is a gourmand. I don't get the Mobster name. To me, this is a gourmand sandalwood that's not the best in the genre. To me, that probably one, if I would tell you what the best sandalwood gourmand is, I'd say it's Dries Van Noten by Frederick Malle. But this is a really pleasant fragrance. I really think this is a good scent. It lasts on the skin. It got me compliments. I've worn this 3 times now, and I got a compliment every time I wore this. It's spicy, it's woody, and it's deceivingly complex, I would say, because even though I only get, some sandalwood and some booze and some oud, other people have smelled this and not gotten those things from me. So crucify me if you want, I guess. But $45 for 30 ml, yeah, I think this is a good fragrance. I think the Mobster is a good fragrance. The third one we'll talk about is called An Evening with the Mobster. And this one has whiskey, tobacco, smoke, and spicy notes. This one I don't think is a great fragrance to me. I think it's close to the Mobster, where I think the Mobster is more sandalwood heavy. I think this one is sort of like the Mobster, but it's almost like they took the Mobster and just watered it down and added more booze to it. It smells synthetic to me. I thought the Mobster was good. You guys just heard me say that. I think this one is mediocre. At best mediocre. Now maybe the concept is the Mobster guy's out at night and he's getting drunk and so drinking a lot, and maybe that's why it's a lot boozier. But if you're interested in one of the 3 of these, and again, you have to understand, I'm not a rose guy. I wanted to smell the rose one, and I think the rose one's really good. But what I get is rose, cinnamon, and raspberry. If that appeals to you, I'd check this one out. I think the Mobster is pretty good fragrance. I'd buy the I'd pay the price for the Mobster. If I was a rose guy, I'd probably pay the price for Rosa Neck Tar. I definitely wouldn't pay money for an evening with the Mobster. That's just me personally. So if you're looking at one of these for me, I would say definitely check the Mobster out. And that's the 3 that I got here. So what is my brief takeaway? I think these are pretty good fragrances, guys. I don't think they're mind-blowing, but I also feel like I would need to smell more of Dua's original work to really give an opinion of what they have to offer. I think they're going to please a lot of people with these scents because they're replicas of popular scents, and they're not priced out unfairly. I don't think they're the next big thing, though. And I think if you're looking for fresh and new and different and daring, probably not going to satiate that appetite. But if you want scents that mimic some of the more expensive niche fragrances that you hear about, and you want good performance, and $50 is your sort of bar, your sort of upper echelon, this is a pretty good option. To me, they're sort of a more modern, more hype version of West Third brand, which offers sort of replica scents. Those guys have $30 for 60 ml. Now, those to me are blended a little bit better. I feel like they use less concentrations of oils, and they're not as beastly as these, but they cost less, so it's a trade-off. So I would need to see more of this house to really tell you what I think of them. I don't think these are bad, but I don't also think they're I don't get the hoopla, the crazy hoopla about these yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's not 3 fragrances. I wish them all the success in the world because these guys have been nothing but gentlemen with me. And I'd be happy to look at whatever else they come out with. I know there's some lemon gelato, and I know there's a milk chocolate fragrance, and I know they're doing original fragrances, and I think they should do more of those. The first thing, though, that I implore you guys to do, if you're watching this, is to do samples. But with that said, guys, you're really not losing that much if you want to spend $45 on a bottle to see for yourself. I think the mistake that people will make with this brand is thinking that you're going to get a Xerjoff or Amouage or Raja experience, or Guerlain, Art of Materials or Tom Ford Private Blend at that price. The guys, there's a reason those fragrances cost what they do. You know what I'm saying? Those niche houses cost what they do. Not every niche house, but there's a reason why a lot of niche fragrances cost what they do. They're simply using better materials. That's just reality. But I think if you're on a budget and you know what I'm saying, you need to do things a certain way. This could be an option for you. As I said, just based off these three, I think the Mobster's a good look. I would not buy an evening with the Mobster, and I'm not a rose guy, but I thought Rosa Neck Tar is pretty good for a rose fragrance. And as I said, I'd be happy to look at more from this house. But that's my take, guys. I don't know if that made you happy or didn't. That's my honest assessment of Dua. I don't think you should be scared to put your money out there. But if you're a guy that's just about straight quality, well, then maybe you want to use that money and just get the fragrance that they replicate. You know what I'm saying? And if there's an original, because they do originals that you're interested in, well, put that $45-50 up. It's not going to kill you, and you can make your own decision at that point. And I think for the most part, you're going to get really good performance out of these. So you'll at least know that. So guys, that's it. That's my Dua video. It's gone a while. Sorry about that, but I wanted to really give you my summation. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. I will try to answer them as best as I can. Guys, the Dua guys, I want to thank you because, as I said, you've been nothing but gentlemen to me, and I so appreciate it, Maximilian. You've been a real stand-up guy, and I appreciate that as well. Guys, I'll see you again real soon with more videos. A lot more videos coming your way. You guys already know what it is. My name is Maximilian.
I make your mom say wow. Ironically, wow is the word mom upside down. Trying to separate myself from my bizarre persona, like a rabbit cadaver trying to stab his own organ donor. I walked the kilometer, tried to be calm, and I